What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lantern, bringing you guys the weekly recap for week 3 of the NCL or the Nimbasa City League. Um, we're now a quarter of the way finished the season, or finished the regular season, so big ups to all of the coaches for making it through the first quarter. I know that's not saying much, but this first quarter can really sort of um, show how important the games are. And we haven't had a ton of divisional matchups yet, and those are coming in the next 3 weeks is generally when most of the divisional matchups are going to be happening. So that's pretty big. Anyways, heading right into things in terms of move kills this week. This is your leaderboard for week 3. Scald pulling ahead. Scald was in fourth place, I believe, last week, and it came through up to 11 kills in first place. I think it got six kills this week from Scald. Talk Specs and Melodic being the big ones there. Earthquake staying in second place, but bumping out Ice Beam now down to third place with 8 kills. 66 unique move kills as of the end of this week, which is pretty cool. We added a bunch, actually. Some that I had expected, but weren't on there. And then in terms of unique Z move kills, I'm pretty sure I put 6, but that's wrong. I'm 90% sure that it's 5 now, but there are 6 Z-move kills in total instead of 4. Bloom Doom actually picked up a kill this week, and Hydra Vortex picked up a kill, putting us up to 5s. Now Bloom Doom, Supersonic Sky Strike, All Out Pummeling, Shattered Psyche, and Hydra Vortex all have kills. In terms of your kill leaders, Melodic remains in first with 9 kills now, increasing its lead. Way in front of everything else with a +8 differential. And then in second place is a 4-way tie between Zapdos, Tapu Bulu, Kieran Black, and Conkeldurr, all with +4 differential. Zapdos having 5 kills, 1 death. Tapu Bulu having 4 kills, 0 deaths. Kieran Black having 6 kills, 2 deaths. And Conkeldurr having 5 kills, 1 death. So then in third place, which isn't on the slide here, but in third place is another 4-way tie between Cresselia, Excadrill, Piloswine, and Mega Altaria. Piloswine and Mega Altaria booting out Nidoking and Keldeo as of this week now. Mega Altaria being 4-1, Piloswine being 4-1, Excadrill and Cresselia both being 3-0. The Adelaide Overheat ended up picking up a loss this week to the Wiltshire Wartortles in a very close 2-0 match, so he falls to third in the Hoenn Conference and second in his division, which he was still in before. Still sitting in a playoff position at the moment because he would be the first wildcard seed if playoffs started today. Monster and the Atlantis Raptors continuing their winning streak 3-0 +6. Unfortunately, they're in the San Gem division, which is the toughest division right now, most competitive division at the moment, and so he's third in Sinnoh. Still would be in a playoff position. He would actually be wild card number 2 at the moment. Because this division is so hard. He's in a division with myself and Ben, and all 3 teams are 3-0 at the moment. Him and Ben, although both have 2 conference wins, which is going to be very crucial in terms of tie-breaking later on in the season. So really good for him. Yeah, pretty good game. I think it was more of a blowout this week, wasn't it? Like a 3-0 or something. Who did he play? Oh goodness, who did he play? He played somebody. Oh, he played Kade this week. That's who it was. He played Kade and he picked up a 1-0 win over Kade actually. Pretty close game, but it was a good win for him. Big confidence booster. Next up is Dom and the Cleveland Cavaliers, still sitting first in his conference and first in his division, despite taking an L to Ben this week. 3-0 L to Ben, 2-0 L to Ben, one of those two. Remains first in the Hoenn Conference. Not much he could have done about that game, honestly. Ben has an amazing team, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ben went on to win the whole thing. Nacho picking up a win over Magic this week. Pretty clutch for Nacho, also putting himself into the division lead at the moment. So if playoffs started today, Nacho would have a playoff spot as the winner of the Twin Leaf division. He does only have 1 differential point over Kade in that matter, and he's sitting in 4th in the Sinnoh Conference. But pretty big win for Nacho to sort of get a win on the board for himself. Then there's Matt, who picked up a win against Daniel this week, a 4-0 win over Daniel, I believe. Putting himself into 4th place in the Hoenn Conference, which actually puts him in a playoff spot. If playoffs were to start today, he would have the wildcard 2 spot. Pretty good matchup for Matt, and he's got some drops coming, so keep an eye out for the transactions video drops that I really like personally, and I'll go into depth about that in the transactions video for sure. Next up is Kade, who is 5th in the Sinnoh Conference, taking an unfortunate loss to the Atlantis Raptors. Very, very, very close game. one that probably could have gone either way at the end of the game. Um, in terms of playoff standings, Kade is actually out of the playoff picture right now. He would not have a playoff spot if the playoffs were going to start today. But I know him, and he's going to pick up his record. I know for sure that he's going to pick up his record as the season goes on. Myself, I'm first in the Sinnoh Conference, and I have a stranglehold on first in the entire league at the moment. Now that Dom took a loss, 3-0 plus 14. I picked up a 4-0 win over Jay this week. I've had a relatively clean start to the season, and I'm looking to continue that. Although my next week's matchup is going to be very difficult. Not much to say besides that about me, really. I also have a drop coming, so keep an eye out for the transactions video for that. Um, Daniel potentially making a trade. I'm not entirely sure on if that's happening or not. Unfortunately, is sixth in the home conference and has the last place in the entire league at the moment. Um, Daniel's had an unfortunate start to the season, taking two 4-0 losses and a 6-0 loss, but I have a feeling that he's going to be able to start picking up some wins as the season progresses, especially since I know he hasn't been the biggest fan of Zera Aura, and he's sort of shopping Zera Aura around for a trade that might change the way that he builds and sort of how the matches progress. Magic sixth in the Sinnoh Conference, but actually 10th in the entire league. There's two teams below him, despite him being last in the Sinnoh Conference. Magic's had a really unfortunate start to the season. I mean, I said this in the draft analysis video as well, but I'm not a huge fan of this team. I'm really hoping that he makes some transactions to sort of patch that up. He's also still got 100 free points left over, so he's got a lot of value on the board that he can play with there. Um, Ben picking up a really big win over Dom. Is now second place in the division and second place in the entire league. In fact, the Sanjem division is top three in Sinnoh and top three in the entire league. The only 3-0 teams. Next week, either myself or Ben are going to have a loss on our record, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it would have had to happen at some point. So there you go. Ben's been playing really well this season with a very bulky offense team, not necessarily a setup heavy team, but sort of just a hit and run team, which is kind of cool. And Jay is sitting in 11th in the league, taking an unfortunate loss this week. Not having Unburden on his Hitmonlee kind of cost him a little bit, but besides that, Jay making some drops active for this week that might improve his team in the long run. I'm looking forward to that, especially he's shopping out Tornado's Therian at the moment, so we'll sort of see if Torn T gets traded from his team. Torn T is tied for the lowest differential with Nidoqueen, both of them being 0-3 with a -3 differential. And then last but not least is Phil picking up another win this week, going 2-1 plus 5 now, taking second in the home conference, and he's first in the Little Root division by 2 matches. I don't want to say it's necessarily going to be an easy division for him, but if there's going to be a division that's sort of clear cut early on in the season, it's going to be the Little Root division. So we'll sort of see how that plays out. But good job, Phil. And that's going to be it from me for this week, and I'll catch you guys for the transactions video and then for the weekly recap for week 4.